Hi, Ashley. Thanks for coming in today. Is there
Thanks for
something that
having
you
me.
want to talk about to start?
I was kind of wanting to talk a bit about some body image issues.
Okay. So, what does that mean to you?
Well, I find I'm just constantly, it's something I'm constantly kind of battling with, and I think like a lot of women battle with it, but I find myself struggling with it a lot more than I think most do, or paying a lot more attention to it. It just being a lot more of a central focus than maybe for other people. And I'm definitely, I know I've gone for counseling for it before in my life, and I've definitely made a lot of progress, but I know that I still have a long ways to go with kind of finding a healthy balance with that.
Okay. So, what I'm hearing is that you're saying recently the concerns that you have about your body image have increased. Is that on the right track there?
I would say it's actually like been pretty consistent, consistently prominent as an not even an issue, but just as a focus in my life, just what my body looks like, that being such a central focus. And I kind of just want to be a bit more free of that.
Okay. So you're saying that it's always been a central focus to you. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I weigh myself a lot. I measure myself a lot, and I'm very cognizant of what other people look like, and I notice a lot of what other people look like, and I'm easily saddened by the state of my body. If I gain a little bit of weight, it easily affects my mood, and
Mhm.
I'm easily impacted by other people's bodies as well. That can affect my mood and my perception of myself.
I'm hearing that you feel like you're very self-aware of yourself and the body changes that are occurring for you, but also the perceptions others have of you, and also your perceptions of what other people look like.
Yeah, yeah, it's very noticeable, and it's interesting when I talk to people who maybe don't even really think about that. I'm like, wow, I can't even believe that you don't think about that. That's not because it's such a dominant thing in my mind all the time.
Right. So, when do you think you first started to notice your body image in perception to others?
I definitely remember as an adolescent. I remember like I remember times just being like whatever and wearing a tank top and or wearing a belly button shirt or a swimsuit, and it wasn't an issue. And then obviously when you hit that adolescent age, then your body starts to change a little bit and
Mhm.
boys start making comments. And then I remember like reading where I really started to notice like negative impacts was reading magazines that were like I think there were the 17 magazines for teens. And I remember just starting to kind of internalize like, oh my gosh, like I don't look like that, or like, and seeing those airbrushed magazine images and kind of then starting to compare myself.
Right. So it sounds like your perception of what you look like really shifted, A, when you were going through puberty and bodily changes were occurring, but also when you started to pay attention to the media and how the media portrays beauty to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me more about that. Like you mentioned that your image, your body image kind of shifted from what you perceived as a child versus what you perceived as an adolescent and now as a youth. What images, or sorry, what perceptions do you have about body image?
I think I think something that probably like has really changed and really affected it is the whole like sexual aspect of it. Like that your body also determines your attractiveness towards the male population. So I think that's where, and like when you're a lot younger, you just like boys have cooties, so it doesn't matter so much. But then once you hit an older age, then you're starting to like notice that there's male interest, and then there's also male disinterest, and there's comments regarding your body, whereas like when you're younger, that's not as much of a thing. And
Mhm.
so I think maybe that's where a lot of it comes from, is like I notice that I connect a lot of like, oh, the type of guy I might end up with or get to be with in the long term as a partner is going to change depending on if I'm a healthy body weight or not. I put a lot of emphasis on how that will affect my future prospects of getting a good relationship.
So it sounds like your body image is almost shaped, like your idea of your body image and the way that you define your body is shaped by who you're going to attract as a future spouse or partner.
Yeah, it's definitely connected to that. And I think because I'm in a place in my life too where that's starting to become more of an important aspect of my life, that might be why I'm focusing on it maybe a little bit more, but it's always kind of been an issue for me for a long time.
Okay, so you say at this point in your life. What do you mean by that?
I find now that I'm starting to hit I'm starting to get near the end of my schooling, and I'm starting to want to get my life more established, because when you're a student, it's hard to kind of get your life established because you're not really making any money. So I think I'm starting to get to that point where I'm starting to be ready for a relationship and for finding someone. So I think that's where it's starting to stem from a little bit more.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you correctly, you're mentioning these stages in your life, so that you tend to focus on. So during your youth and your younger age, you weren't really interested in boys or men, and you didn't really care about, or you cared about your body image, but it wasn't to the extent that it is now. And your focus was just on being a child, having fun. And then as you started to progress, you were in school, and that became your focus. But now that the stage of school is coming to a close here, you're starting to think more of what you want in the future, such as a family or where you want to start your career. And with the idea of a future spouse or a future partner or potentially a future family, you're starting to think more about your appearance and how this will impact your ability to start dating.
Yeah, for sure. And you definitely summarized that really well, because I find like I wasn't really interested in dating or anything like that. Like, I'm very picky, and it just wasn't even a thought for me because I was so busy. But now that it's starting to hit that point, like you said, the stage in my life, I'm starting to get more ready to look for someone. But I don't think that my value of the type of partner I get should be like dictated by my body size. Like, even if I was really heavy, I should still be able to find someone who truly loves me for me. But I seem to constantly emphasize and put a lot of worth on, oh, well, I won't find somebody, or somebody won't like me because I've got a belly or something, you know?
Yeah, so it sounds like your goals have really shifted over the past few years. But also, what's really important to you is who you are as a person. And despite that, you want to overlook body image and not see it as something as important. Perhaps the way that body image is portrayed in media and social media has really impacted your ability to kind of see past it right now.
Yeah, for sure. And you hear messages from other people who have been in relationships, and just like some of the comments that guys have made where it really ties their worth, and like, oh, if you gain 50 pounds, I don't think I could handle that. Like things like that. You just hear those things, and because I'm already overly sensitive towards my body, then like statements like that really scare me, and really I internalize them quite a bit too, because I'm like, okay, it's an area where I'm sensitive, and I'm also sensitive about trying to find a future prospect for a relationship. Yeah.
It sounds like you're almost afraid about being in a relationship, in the sense that there's no security on if my body image will change, will my partner change as well?
Yeah. Yeah, and I definitely like, I think it's a bit scary if you've been single for so long. Like I've never been in a long-standing relationship. So I think it's really, yeah, intimidating to get into one, because when you hear messages about people valuing one another just based on their sex appeal or, their body weight or things like that, it's like, I don't really know that I want to get into that kind of situation. So I think too, if it's something that I put a really big emphasis on, where I'm focusing on my worth as being my size, I think that's also going to set me up to get into a relationship that is based off of that kind of thing. And that would be really harmful and unhealthy, I think.
Mhm. So what I'm hearing, just to summarize our session, because we are coming to the end of it, you're describing that you have constantly throughout your life, in various stages of your life, had this self-awareness of your body image and other people's body image and how they perceive you. But recently it's become almost a shift in it, because now you're expressing that one of the concerns you have is how your perception of your body image or others' perception of your body image will impact your future partner or getting into a relationship in general.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all the time we have for today. However, our next section we can kind of pick up
Oh,
from
I think it froze. So there.
we can pick up from there and explore it a little bit more. But I'm hearing that you're very determined and resilient in your voice to overcome this and start to reshape your perceptions.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, I definitely want to make a change.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll talk about this next time. Take care.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.